Welcome to Night Light. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights, covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Night Light, a reminder that you are never alone.
Welcome everybody to Night Light, rereading night. It's an exciting night for me because I get a chance to interact with you guys out there, and I so enjoy it. It's like me going to an amusement park almost, because I get to tap into lots of different energies, and I always learn from the people that I read. It's really quite an exciting time for me, and for Gregg, because he's there and he listens and he learns too. So you have two people who are listening and experiencing the joy of joining energies with other people. It's really a phenomenal, exciting time. And I want to remind people out there that if you do want to get a reading, if you go to the, I don't know, what is it? The comment box, I guess. And yes, if you type in capitals, it's easier for Gregg to see those who want a reading and those who are just listening and learning quietly on their own. It is an exciting time. And, you know, these times we're going through are so strange and unusual. A reading with anybody is a good idea, or for anybody. I'm not saying go to just anybody. Let me expand upon that just for a second. If you are going to go to any reader, make sure that you investigate them first. You know, listen to people that have had readings from them. It's like anything else. Get references. Don't just, go willy-nilly and say, oh, that looks like a good one. Pay attention, because when you sit down to get a reading, you're opening yourself up, and people are going to be planting seeds within your consciousness, and you want to make sure that those who are planting the seeds have good seeds to plant. That said, it appears that there are a few people who have jumped the gun and are here ahead of everybody else, which is kind of a cool thing. It's nice to see people here ahead of time. Obviously, you know that the line does get long eventually, so that it's important for you to get in ahead of the gang, so to speak. So, Gregg, who's first?
Yes. All right. We have a few people, making requests already. The first person that's up is Shay Noons. She says, hi, Barbara. Would love to have a general reading. Thank you.
Okie dokie. We'll roll my sleeves up here. Okay, Shay, it's interesting. You're at a time here where for the next couple of weeks, couple of months even, you're pulling things together. You're kind of tying up loose ends. You're getting ready. It's funny. It feels like inside you have the feeling of something new is coming and exciting, and you have to sort of clear the table, so to speak. And that is absolutely appropriate, because it does feel as though you're at a point in time here where there are changes coming, and it's a cool thing. When we know changes are coming, we try to anticipate what they will be, and we're always wrong. But that's okay if you're if you kind of are anticipating you're usually anticipating from your consciousness as opposed to your spirit. And when you're doing that, you're not really on the pathway that you need to be on. I feel you're being brought back to a spiritual pathway to a great degree. September is a time where there is a lot of interweaving of new talents and new skills and new directions. And it does feel as though there is an anticipation of an explosion of wonderful new opportunities coming your way. October has a sense here of opening up your consciousness, opening up your awareness, and allowing new thoughts and new philosophies to kind of flow in as you get into November. Here's where your house is in order. And I'm not saying you have a messy house. I'm just saying that your house, spiritually speaking, is a little bit fragmented. And as you pull things together, as you start to utilize those tools and skills that you have in your tool belt, so to speak, that you haven't been using, like your intuition, like your ability to sort of read situations before you go into them. And it's almost as though you have these tools, but you don't like to use them where they apply to you, but you'll use them where it applies to other people. This is very common. But now start listening to them for you, because as you get into the December timeframe, it has laughter, joy, and celebration. It has a lot of excitement for you. It feels like this holiday season is going to be far richer than you had anticipated. Now, let me step back just a little, because Thanksgiving feels as though it's a lot calmer, but the holiday season, when you come into December, seems to be wonderfully chaotic, and underline the wonderfully, because it does feel like it's wonderfully chaotic for you. And it does feel as though there are going to be hidden messages in a lot of gifts you are given. So pay attention to the gift giver and the gift that they actually give you, because there's a hidden message there for you. And I'm talking about gifts that are not from family members, not family members. So as you come into the January timeframe, there is a sense here of having the ability to choose new directions for yourself. I feel, creatively speaking, you have a lot of stuff built up inside, and it's really time for you to start to manifest it, to work on it, not all at once, but begin to use your creativity in new and unusual ways. I'm not saying you're not creative. I feel you are, but you need to expand upon your creativity in new directions, to open to new possibilities that are flowing your way. As you get into the February timeframe, there's the element here of setting things up. It's almost as though you are looking towards 6 months from then, which would be August, and you're setting things up so that as the months roll by the time you get to August, there is a blossoming of magical stuff that you have been preparing for the prior 6 months. It feels as though you're going to be working on developing some of the other talents and gifts that you have within. And as you get into the March timeframe, here's where you've set a new foundation to move in new directions. And excuse me, the new foundations are a direct result of the creativity that you've been utilizing. So the more creative you are, the more potential that comes into your life. As you get into the April timeframe, there's healing energy here. There's moving in new directions. There's letting go of things you have carried, and that lightens your spirit and allows you to have light flow through you in new directions, to heal you in some ways, and in other ways to open the portals to new aspects of yourself that you didn't know were there. You're attracting new people to your life, so there are new people coming in. There are new talents and gifts that they are helping you to manifest. And it does feel as though it's a time of almost a new era of your life. It's almost a new time where you're letting go of a lot of the old, and you're opening yourself to the potential that you carry within. I don't care how old you are. It's always the right time to start something new. And you have a new flow of energy here in the June timeframe that opens you up to at least 2 new directions as you get into the July timeframe. New directions being creative directions. They also may have something to do with career. So I feel that there is a new career here that comes from a creative endeavor that opens you up to new directions for you, that will bring new insights and new wonders into your life. And as we hit August, here's where what you've sent out, what you've been working on internally, what you've been quietly trying to cultivate inside of you begins to blossom and come into the physical reality. And there are new beginnings here. There are new starts. There are new directions that you're going to be going because of the creativity that you've been generating. If you choose to not generate the creativity, it doesn't mean it won't be a good time. It just would be so much better if you played with the creativity. There you go.
Okay. And looks like
Okay.
we have a few more people up. Yeah, no comment yet. But, next up is Mila LaFranco.
Okay.
And Mila says, "Hi there. Could I have a general reading, please? Thank you so much."
Oh, you're so welcome. I think the general readings are so much more fun. But if somebody has a question that's specific, that it's not that it's not fun, it's just that sometimes what we think is most important in our life is not that important to the spirit we carry within. And so having a general reading allows me to give you what it is that spirit wants you to hear, as opposed to what you think you need to hear. I know that sounds strange, but that's the way it works. Okay. You're at a time where you're transforming into a new person. It's really quite profound. I would say you've been working internally on yourself for quite a while, and it's beginning to show. You're beginning to manifest new philosophies, new ideas, new thoughts, new directions. It feels as though this next 12 months is going to be a time of transformation for you, where, gosh, you come out of the shadows. It's almost like you have been in the shadows in many ways in your life. You've been holding back. You've not been allowing yourself to speak your heart, to speak your mind, to speak your spirit. And it feels as though as you come into the September timeframe here, it's a time where you're beginning to understand that all of those things that you've been thinking you should have been saying and doing now become reality for you, and you're able to actually start talking and manifesting them. I'm not saying go crazy, but I am saying trust yourself, because it feels as though you have been kind and wonderful and generous and compassionate with other people, but not so much with yourself. It's your turn. It's your time. It's your time to start to shine. And in doing that, the more you utilize the spiritual energy within you and allow it to manifest within your reality, the greater the gift you are, not only to yourself, but to others as well. Lots of times people think, I have to take care of everybody else other than me. But when you do that, you deplete your physical essence, so to speak, because you're just using physical energy. When you are taking care of yourself, when you are working on yourself and in spiritual aspects, then the overflow becomes a gift to anybody who's within your radius. And it means that you're giving to them the greatest richness that you have, so that it is a greater gift to the people around you if you're taking care of yourself first, because then you are flowing and channeling universal energy, and you will never be depleted. And the more you give, the more you have to give, so that as you come into the September, October timeframe here, spotlight's falling on you. People are beginning to notice the changes that are there, the alterations in the way that you approach life, the way that you're speaking. It feels that there is a whole new you coming out here, and it feels as though there's a wonderful richness, because you are taking care of yourself, your needs, and in doing so, there is a greater joy within you to share with other people. And so therefore, the compassionate energy you put out there, the healing energy you put out there, is of a more universal quality. It goes further, and it heals better, and it heals faster. There is, as you get into the November time frame, a unity of focus, where you have an understanding partially as to the journey that you're on, the purpose, some of the purpose of this lifetime, and a greater understanding of how you can celebrate the spiritual journey you're on, and that celebration spreads to other people as well. Somebody once said, well, I said it, that a smile is the greatest gift you can. A smile is universal, and your time is the greatest gift you can give to other people. And sharing your smile and your laughter and your joy with others is a healing energy that is so much more profound than something that is a matter of heal. It helps to lighten the spirit, and it allows the spirit within to take care of the needs of the spirit, of the physical body wherein it dwells. As you get into the December timeframe, it feels as though you're working very hard in new directions. It feels it's a joyous work. I don't feel you feeling you're laboring, but I do feel that there is definitely work that you are doing here. And it does feel as though you are making ready to take great leaps into new directions for your own, the presentation of your own spirit within this reality. It's an aspect of yourself you've been working on for a very long time. And as you hit the January timeframe, it does feel as though there's a lot of work going on here, but it's work that you are joyful with. When I came into this field full time, it's work, but it's joyful. It's a celebratory thing, and therefore you're not tired. You're energized by it, and I feel that that's the kind of energy I'm seeing here. As you hit January, it feels as though you are rewarded so beautifully with the work that you're putting out there, that you're celebrating it and you're having a wonderful time. And yes, you're tired, but it's wonderful energy that you're putting out there. As you hit February, there's a sense here of feeling an initiatory aspect within yourself, as though you have broken through a portal. You've broken through a level of understanding on a spiritual level that is quite profound. And it opens you to all sorts of new directions, new understandings, new philosophies that you can apply to your life, enrich it and make it greater, and at the same time be a gift to all of those that you are close to. As you hit the March timeframe, here's where, oh my, this is my card that I usually say is my pregnancy card, but I'm not saying you're going to be pregnant. But I do feel there's the element of a new you coming out here. You're birthing a new aspect of yourself, and it does feel as though there is a sense here of coming into your own on many different levels. It feels as though there's a great richness here, and that doesn't necessarily mean money, but it means richness. And sometimes the spiritual richness is far more fun than having money. There's also a new creative endeavor that you're taking on here in the March timeframe that looks very interesting, as though you're stepping into new shoes. Interesting. You're stepping into new shoes, moving in new directions, and feeling as though you're a whole new person. So there's a whole new you coming out here. There's the element here of April having Phoenix rising energy here, which is, a rebirthing of yourself. It's Phoenix rising is reborn out of the ashes of the old. So it's a matter of letting go of those things that really don't work for you and allowing yourself to gather in aspects and directions and insights and philosophies that fit you, just far better than what you've been dealing with up to this point in time. And you haven't been, I want to make it very clear. You have been doing a very good job. It's just that you'll be doing a better job after this particular time frame. There's healing energy here. It does feel as though it's on yourself, allowing yourself to sort of smooth over areas that have been rough for a while. Letting go of things that have weighted you down, whether it is hurts or grudges or whatever. It feels as though you're coming to a time where you're letting go of all of that, and you're just allowing yourself to become whole and move forward with greater vitality. I see more vitality here. I see more energy here. I see you paying attention to your body. Your body is going to tell you when it needs rest and when it needs food and things like that. Pay attention to it. You sometimes ignore what your body is asking for until the requests become uncomfortable. As you get into the June timeframe, you're sort of, it's funny, I see you with a blanket of the past and looking at things and saying, I don't know why I allowed myself to get into this kind of position. So the element of forgiveness is here, but it's not for other people. It's for yourself, because you've allowed yourself to be put in a position that was hurtful. And it's important for us to know and to realize that the only person that we can actually forgive is ourselves. And it's forgiveness for putting ourselves in a position that became uncomfortable, and then you became angry at somebody else because they did whatever they were going to do. We can't forgive other people, but we can forgive ourselves. We can allow ourselves to heal and move on. And then hopefully have the wisdom to not put ourselves in that position again. That's a tough one. I struggle with it too. It's nuts. I don't know anybody that's mastered that quite yet. Well, maybe a couple of people, but in the last several thousand years, that's not that many for sure. As you hit the July timeframe, here's where things get busy. Here's where things come in that you don't expect, but they're good stuff. It feels like you're very, very busy, and this is where I would say take your vitamins. Make sure you get plenty of sleep. Make sure you have plenty of water and things like that. It's very busy, but it's really good, exciting stuff. So it's not anything where I want to say, oh, prioritize it and take it one thing at a time. No, go gung ho, but make sure you have as much. You've allowed your body to get strong enough to deal with the wonderful things that are coming your way. They're all wonderful. It's just a matter of all at once. It's kind of, the universe often doesn't, do things on a nice schedule for us. It usually challenges us. This is one of those challenge times, but it's great challenges. As you hit August, you have body, mind, spirit together. Feels like there are new directions you're going in. It feels as though there are possibly changes as far as career that are the potential is here. I'm not saying you're going to, but I'm saying you're looking at the possibilities, and that down the line you may choose to move into new directions. There you go.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Next up is Just Bellini. And Just Bellini says, hi, I was wondering what is happening with my work, or a general reading, please.
Okay. I think partially here, it's important for us to realize what our work is. We have a job, but that job is just physical, and it's what keeps the roof over our head, clothes on our back, and food in our mouth. So it depends on how you look at what your work actually is. You have within you a part of the infinite spirit that incarnated within a physical avatar that is living this lifetime as a physical being. And you incarnated, all of us, you incarnated in order to learn, in order to grow. So I can look at it as far as a physical job that the physical part of you is going through, or I can look at this as what is it your spirit is working on. That said, let's spread my cards. But I want everybody to realize and understand that we are here for a purpose and a reason, and it's not the physical reason, it's the spiritual reason that is really what counts, what takes us through time, and what we carry through time. As far as your physical job, I feel there's justice and balance there. I feel that your physical job, you're good at it, you're liked, but that's not the real reason you're here on the earth plane. And wherever you choose to put yourself, you will always shine. But that's not why you're here. And you have a spiritual reason that has you on the planet at this point in time. And that spiritual reason is to gather information, is to learn, is to experience, is to gather insights and understandings, and to experience all manner of physical stuff. So what you've got here is a lifetime in which you are touching into many different aspects of life as we know it. You are gathering wisdom from it, and I would hope that you are keeping a journal of sorts, or you're writing things down, because there is an element of trusting yourself. I get a strong feeling here that you have no idea as to the greatness that you carry within. And that's something that you will work on, and that you will come to understand, and that you will become, you will become more understanding of as this year goes on. You have put yourself in some really very unusual situations, which were learning situations. And as you reflect back on them with enough distance, you can chuckle a little bit about what it was you had to gather, and did I really need to put myself through that much in order to gather that fragment of insight and wisdom that I will take with me as I go lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. You have the element here of you have created a foundation to work from. You are working from new directions and insights because of the spirit you carry within. And as you get into the October timeframe, here's where there are changes. There are a lot of changes that are going on here. You're going to be asked to take part in and to do things that you hadn't anticipated, all legal and all, none of them are really strange, but you're going to be putting yourself into situations where you have to stretch, you have to grow. And that's the purpose of this lifetime, I might add. And there's the element within you of saying, I'm not worthy, or I can't do that, or there's self-doubt here. And that's appropriate. It's part of the lesson of this lifetime. And what I'm finding is that loving yourself and appreciating the gifts and the talents that you bring into this lifetime eventually becomes a richness that emanates from you, and people feel that confidence and that love and that compassion and are drawn to it. As you get into the November timeframe, you've got a sense of balance and justice, getting a new balance within your life, allowing yourself to move in new directions, but always making sure that there's that balance. And that's a wonderful quality. That's a good quality you have. As you hit the January timeframe, you have a unity of focus. It feels as though you're looking and going in new directions, and it does feel as they may well take you into areas that you had you're going to need to grow some more intellectually and philosophically. But I do feel you'll do that. I don't see you going back to school, but I do see you learning a great deal. Life is quite a teacher. But I don't feel that it's bad lessons. I feel that you're looking at situations and saying, what did I gain from this? Not how did I struggle, and what did I gain? What did I learn? And what am I going to take with me? And it's always, always, always positive. It's never negative. if you have something negative in your head, that's just your ego talking. I learned I'll never do that again. Nah, there's positive. There's positive in everything you step into, no matter how squishy it seems. There's positive everywhere. As you hit the January timeframe, you're beginning to understand a lot of the purpose you came into this lifetime for. And there's not the self-doubt here. There's not the I don't know, maybe not. There's a sense of understanding that you're putting out there requests, hopes, and the universe is answering them, and you're getting things coming your way. And Mother Teresa had a wonderful saying. She said, "I know God would never ask me to do anything I wasn't capable of. I just wish He didn't think so much of my abilities." That's what I'm getting here. That the universe is never going to put something in front of you that you're not capable of growing through, to and through. And as you come into the February timeframe, that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing you being challenged in very wonderful ways, and not saying I can't or I won't. It's that I'll learn how. I can do this. And you'd be surprised at what you can learn. There's wonderful growth here. There's exciting growth here. Yeah, you're going to sweat, but it looks like it's very exciting for you, because the more you put yourself out there, the more confidence you have in yourself, and the greater the growth you achieve. And it heals, and it enables you to not be full of yourself, but know that if something is put in front of you, that you are capable of achieving it and capable of moving through it. And you roll up your sleeves and surprise yourself greatly, especially in the month of February. March is a time where life kind of takes a new swing. It goes in new directions, and it feels as though there are new people coming into your life here, both in March and April. There's a sense here of new people coming into your life, major changes here, and you growing into a lot of the power that you carry within. It's people like you who have, the kind of I doubt it, or I'm afraid, or I don't think I can, that have the greatest richness of spirit in you. So it's a matter of when you break through that barrier of ego that is limiting, you find yourself surrounded by people who are just so much full of life and fun and insight and creative energy. It's impressive. As you get into April, there's a sense here of looking back over the last 12 months for sure, and kind of saying to yourself, well, I really challenged myself, but look what I achieved. Impressive as heck. Abundance coming your way in June on many different levels. There is a reward here for all of the struggles that you will put yourself through, and understand you're putting yourself through it because the spirit inside of you knows you are capable of achieving so much more than you already have. But it's an exciting time, and as you hit the and this abundance I see coming, it's not only on a physical level, but it feels it's on a monetary level as well. And as you hit, it's not the lottery, it's money you're earning, by the way. And as you hit the July timeframe, there's a sense here of so much happening. There's a reorganization of a lot of things in your life, so that you're decluttering. You may even be planning a move of some sort here, because I see the decluttering and I see you getting ready. I see boxes being packed. So it feels like there may be a move of some sort. Body, mind, spirits together in the August timeframe, and it feels that you're on the go. You're moving. There's major changes here. So get ready. This is going to be a good year for you. Okie doke. There you go.
Okay. Up next is Free to Be Me. Says, hi, Barbara. Do I have portals in my home? Lots of strange stuff happening lately. Thank you.
Portals. Cool. Portals. Well, you won't need to spread the cards for this one. Well, first of all, you have a tremendous amount of energy. And it feels as though your energy needs to have outlets. Portals, portals, portals. You don't have portals in the sense of, portals to other dimensions or portals to other places. You have areas that are gathering energy, and because they're gathering energy, stuff is happening. You have a great deal of energy within yourself, and what's happening is it doesn't feel like you are utilizing that energy enough so that it's flowing. I would strongly suggest that you get involved in a form of meditation, exercise, whatever, to help you control the energy. What you have is a lot of energy in your house that hasn't been directed, so it's causing strange things to happen. You have this wonderful spirit inside of you, and I don't feel that there is enough creative outlets in order for that to have the energy flow carefully through yourself, and it feels to me as though most of this stuff happens either around you or around stuff that you've come in contact with. So having a portal there in one's house is more of a soft, flowy energy that draws in all sorts of wonderful energy from around you. A portal wouldn't have it. This isn't poltergeist energy either. This is energy that hasn't been directed as of yet. You're a very powerful person. I don't know what you're doing that is, that can help you at this point in time. My thought is that you have this wonderful energetic field around you that your emotions are causing a reactive. It's kind of like when you see sparks, and that's what I see here. Finding a way to balance your energy will settle down whatever is going in your house, whether it's doing Tai Chi, whether it's meditation of some sort. There's no bad energy there. It's just so much energy that you have inside of yourself that you're not getting rid of it in an appropriate way. I hope that helps. It's your energy. It's not a portal. It's your energy. You have powerful energy, and finding a creative way in order for you to release that energy will calm down the energy within your house. Hope that helps.
Okay. All right. Next up is Ellen R. And Ellen says, "Hi. May I have..." No, she doesn't say hi. She says, "May I have a general reading, please?"
Greg says hi.
But I'm sure she's greeting.
I'm sure there's a hi there.
So I'm used to saying hi.
Greg's using his own psychic energy.
Yeah, I'm feeling.
You're feeling a high, are you?
Ellen saying hi.
Okay. Be careful. I'm going to throw somebody at you. I wouldn't do that. Okay. Maybe I would, but no, not tonight.
No, not ready for that yet.
No, you're not. I don't think anybody is ready for that. Okay, so we've got here a tremendous amount of abundance here. Ellen, you have gathered a great deal of, good karma. It feels as though this is going to be a year in which you get gifted on many different levels in many different ways. And as gifts come, understand that it's karma from the past you've brought forth into this time frame. Do understand that there is an abundance of good karma coming your way, and it's a good idea to always make sure you pay it back. pay it forward. When something wonderful happens to you, make sure you kind of generate the energy to pay it forward, to get it going forward again, to get you next life. But at the same time, there is a wonderful kindness of spirit that is here that is very profound. You've had lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of somebody who has helped others, who has been, who has been, I keep seeing, just compassionate, spending your life helping other people, sharing with other people, guiding other people. I don't think you're capable of being selfish. I think there is so much unique, wonderful spiritual energy here that comes forward in time that you are a caregiver. You are, and sometimes caregivers forget to give to themselves. And I do feel that there is a need for you to balance what you give to others and what you give to yourself, because it feels as though you get tired real easy. And it's because you're using your physical energy to take care of other people, as opposed to channeling spiritual energy and directing it to someone else. One of the cool things about what I do is that I channel the energy so that I'm not using my own physical energy, so I don't get off, after we're done with 2 hours and just collapse on the floor and take a nap for 4 hours. I really, I go fold laundry. I do laundry. I do stuff to get rid of the energy. So that what I'm seeing here is you have this wonderful, beautiful energy, and you share it so well with others. And every now and then you step back and you say, "What about me?" And that's appropriate. But it's sort of like you have to take care of you first. And so others won't necessarily know how to be kind to you because you are so kind to others. They figure you don't need it back. And the reality is you do, but you have to give it to yourself. So the important thing here is that you make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you do things that will bring you joy, and that's not giving to other people. I know that gives you joy, but that will give you personal joy. Whether it's gardening, whether it's painting, whether it's drawing, whether it's writing, whether it's growing food and canning it, whether it's you do things for yourself that give you joy and pleasure. And you'll know what those things are when you get done doing them, and you can step back and say, wow, look what I did. And that's not giving to other people. Giving to other people is something very different, and you do it well. But taking care of yourself, you don't do as well as you do with other people. So it's your time. It feels as though this is a time when balance and justice is coming into your life, where the universe is saying, make sure you take care of yourself, because there's a lot of stuff coming, and you want to make sure you have the strength and the balance with which to go forward in time. You are a healer, and it feels as though you're a healer with words and kindness and compassion. If you want to do Reiki or something like that, go for it. But the things that are most healing about you, apparently, from what I'm seeing now, are your words and your energies and what you put out there and what you do for other people, and not expect to get recognized for, just that you feel good about doing it. Great abundance here. As you come into the October timeframe, it feels as though there is a sense here of you may be hitting a brick wall in places. It may be, you may find that you're kind of, brick walling it. This is October's a time for you to sit back and regather yourself. If you're trying to go ahead with something, I feel that you'll probably, everything is going to be slowed down until you get to November. Then everything picks up again. October's a time for you to take care of yourself, to read the books you want to read, to watch the shows you want to watch, to eat the foods you want to eat. It's your time to take care of you. October is a time where, if you were a bear, I'd say you're hibernating, just for a month. But it's your time to take care of your stuff in your way. And as you hit November, here's where here's where you're just out there again, saving the world. It feels as though your compassion and your thoughtfulness is received in many new and wonderful ways. It feels as though you're able to make people feel the love that is coming from you, whether or not it's in words or not. As you hit December, there is a sense here of understanding that there's a new balance in your life, and that new balance is going to give you a greater freedom. And by finding a new balance in your life in the month of December, it means that you really are understanding the give and the take, the energetics, the how to utilize your physical energy, how to utilize your spiritual energy, and how to combine the two of them and have them flow together at some times. As you hit the January timeframe, here's where you're set free. For some reason, you have felt yourself held back, but now in January, there is a sense of freedom, of choice, of being able to make some amazing choices and decisions within your life that you didn't think you had the chance to make before. But come January, there is going to be the opportunity for you to be free from some of the restrictions that you felt have held you back. Actually, nobody held you back but you, but that's a whole nother book. As you hit the February timeframe, there's a unity of spirit. It feels as though you are going in new directions. It feels like there is the element of writing here, definitely of writing, because words are just flowing out of you. It feels as though you are looking for new ways to put your energy in new directions, and you find them as you hit the month of March. March is a time frame where there are new beginnings, there are fresh starts, there is the element of letting go of the old and opening your arms to embrace the new and what the universe is going to throw at you. And it's going to be a wonderful time, because it feels as though no matter what direction you choose to go in, the universe is going to reward you by opening the doors. Be logical, but it does feel as though there are some new pathways that are opening up to you in the March timeframe that will very much surprise you. But please, when the door opens, step through it. You can always back out. But if you don't go through the door, you'll never know. And you don't want to ever have to have that what if in your head. You want to be able to say, oops, nope, tried it, it didn't work, and I came back. As you hit the April timeframe, you're setting things up, you're moving forward in new directions, and it does feel as though there is this element here inside of you that is choosing to not follow other people's pathways, but to create a pathway of your own. Wonderful energy here, as though you are moving in new directions, but on your own pathway. You're creating your own pathway. You're not following someone else's. However, the reality is you are following your own pathway from past lifetimes. You are moving in new directions that are guided by what you've gathered from past lifetimes. And again, things will open up for you. If you have to hit your head against a brick wall, you're going the wrong direction. Brick walls only cause one thing, and that's a headache. They're there for a reason. The universe is stopping you from doing something that is probably not a good idea for you, even though you think it might be. I hope you remember that, because there are going to be a couple of times here where you think you know, but you don't feel you know. And go with the feeling. Don't go with the thought. The thought has ego all over it. As you hit the March, April, May timeframe, there is a sense here of healing energy, of you letting go of some of the things that have held you back. It feels as though there's a lot. Some of the things that you've allowed to hold you back are things that you can let go of, that will fall away if you let go of them. And that has to do with not feeling worthy, and you are very worthy. You've earned everything that's coming your way, and it's really quite profound. In the June timeframe, there's a new foundation that you're working from. I feel that there's there are new directions, new pathways, and again, new pathways not trod by others, so that you're doing your own thing in your own way. And by doing that, it greatly enriches you in many different ways, and money is part of it. As you hit the July timeframe, spotlight falls on you. People are going to be paying attention to you more so than they do now. They're going to be paying attention to what you're saying and what you're doing and how you're doing it. And they're going to learn from your behavior. They're going to learn from you. And they're going to learn from your words, because they're going to take your words and apply them to their own situations and find that there's great wisdom and philosophical, spiritual knowledge and wisdom that are carried within, that go beyond what people normally would anticipate. They dig deeper and they find more. And as you hit the August timeframe, here's where you're working. I do feel that you're working a lot harder than you have in the past, and you're getting great joy from it. You're getting a tremendous amount of reward from it. You are definitely on the road to making sure that the next lifetime is going to be a very rich one, as far as spiritual energy, as far as creative energy, as far as love goes. Love is really a great part of what it is you've got going here. Loving yourself first, then allowing that love to grow and spread and to touch other people as well. Love yourself first, because as greatly as you love yourself, others will love you eventually. Okay, there you go.
Great. She said, "I'll say hi now," and then said, "Hi." So I knew she wanted to say hi. Free to be me gave you some feedback. She said, "Thanks for the reading, Barbara. I like that you said that the activity isn't poltergeist activity. I'll work on grounding myself."
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is Mackenzie Knight. When exactly will I get a nanny job? I got turned down for the one I thought I was going to get, so I just need clarity at this time.
When exactly? Okay. You realize, of course, that exact is pretty hard when it comes to this work. If that is the most profound thing you need to have, let's see what we've got. Okay. It looks here as though it's coming this month. It feels as though, let's see. It does feel that it will be coming this month. This is only the 10th? What is this? Date-wise? 11th?
Yeah, 9/11.
As exact as I can get would be this month. It feels as though it may well be a return of someone that you have interviewed with. I don't know if that was the one that you thought you were going to get or not, but I do feel that you will have a nanny job before the end of this month, and that it will be a little more challenging than you anticipate, but I feel the rewards are here, and it will enable you to grow, because if you're not growing, you won't be able to be a living example to any children that you're working with. Whether it's night school, whether it's a class here or there, I don't care. But if you're not growing, you can't teach that growing is a good, important thing. I think from what I'm feeling here, it's somebody coming back at you with a job. I don't think it's the one that you thought you were going to get. I think it's another one. But I think that from what I'm seeing here, that it will benefit you more greatly than you anticipate. You're very good at what you do. The one, it's not, I don't think it's I don't believe it's the one that you thought you were going to get. But I do feel strongly that you will have a job as a nanny that will be long-term for you as you get closer to the end of the month. I hope that helps. It's towards the end of the month where I see it coming in. And just remember, it's important that you keep growing too, that you I don't care what you take classes in, so long as you're constantly learning. That's the important thing. And that's the way you teach children that it's something that they want to do. Okie doke, there you go.
Okay, good. Alan gave us a little more feedback. This sounds like a wonderful year. Thank you, Barbara. And it's such a hopeful reading that I will replay again. Gracias, amiga.
De nada.
There you go.
That's the extent.
Okay.
That's what 2 years in first year Spanish gave me.
Yeah, I'm about the same level. Okay. Next up, it looks like we have Drops of Jupiter. Drops of Jupiter. Will my son get help for his alcoholism?
Wow. When he's ready. What he's got going on here. It feels as though he has issues of fear inside of him. It feels as though he's going to have to hit rock bottom before he reaches for help. And the more you try to push help on him, the more you will push him away. Hard for a mother to hear. I will tell you for sure, for sure, that what he is going through, what is causing the alcoholism, has nothing to do with you or your family situation. It may be something he wants to blame it on, but that's not the cause. He's searching for something outside of himself that he will find inside of himself. But he's going to have to hit rock bottom first. And I don't think he's close to it. At this point, he thinks he can handle it, and he can't. It will eventually take him down a road where he will hit rock bottom. And I don't know when that's going to be. That will be up to him. I find it fascinating that in my experience, and well, let's face it, I'm 81. I've had years of experience. I have found that people who suffered from alcoholism that had not found themselves and found help, that what's going on is something inside of themselves, feeling that they need it in order to survive, and they don't. But that's what they think. That's what they feel. That's what their ego has. At some point when people hit rock bottom, when they realize that they need to ask for help is there. Help is absolutely there. But it isn't family. It's people that have been down this pathway before. This is one of those places where you have to be able to say, I've had an addiction. I know what it is. I asked for help. And help comes in many different forms, but among other things, it is a spiritual aspect as well. Doesn't mean they become card-carrying anythings, but it does mean that they find a connection to a higher power. And it's that connection to the higher power that enables them to have the physical help that is available to them on the earth plane. I find that he's very intelligent. He's very creative. He's very special. And when they're that talented and that gifted and that special, they are easy marks for things like addiction of any sort. They're gentle spirits. The alcohol may make them not gentle, but it's gentle spirits that are pulled into addiction of any sort. There's a sweetness to their spirit, and if they can't come to terms with what they have inside of them, they let the alcohol build a persona that is not them at all. And they hide from the richness that they have inside of them. When they hit rock bottom, when there's no way out, when they reach for help, it's there. And once they make that connection, even though they slip now and then, that they know where the connection is. The connection is there. You can't do it for them. You can love him, but you can't do it for him. Will he find help? Yes. But he's got to reach for it himself. And sometimes it's a long trip. Sometimes, they don't take the trip at all. But I do feel that there is a sweetness in your son that will eventually reach for the help that's out there for him. And it's not a religious higher power. It's just a higher power, that there is a higher power. And by touching into that higher power, you can combat anything. I've not had addiction to alcohol, but there have been a couple times that I have become addicted to a medication, way back 30, 40 years ago. And it's a long journey. But once you've reached that connection to the higher power, you really can conquer anything. But it's a matter of letting him, I'm not saying don't buy him alcohol, but, love him, support him as best you can. But it's his journey, it's his fight. And you can't force him to come to that point. He has to come to it himself. Yes, he will find help, but I don't know how long it's going to take. He's sweet. He's intelligent. He's creative. He's creative up the wazoo. But for some reason, he goes to the alcohol for strength that he actually has inside of himself already, and he will discover it. But it's going to take time. I wish I could be more specific for you, but I can't, because it's up to him and the spirit that he carries within him. He's a beautiful person, and he's his ego is screwing him royally. But once he hits bottom, there's help there for him, and he'll get it. Just hang in there. Hang in there, because he's definitely worth hanging in there for. And it's a terrible thing to have to watch. I totally understand. You can't do it for him. He has to do it for himself. I do believe he will, but you can't do it for him. Gosh, I hope that helps. Okie doke.
Okay. We got a little bit of feedback.
Can you add anything to that? Because I know, you understand this kind of stuff too.
Yeah, well, and yes, that's exactly right. Without the willingness, it's very difficult to help somebody and bring them in, and it has to come at their time, when they're ready. And unfortunately, some people don't get there, but a lot of people do. And
her son will.
There is hope. So it's great that you're seeing that he's gonna get there. That's very encouraging. It's great. Okay, we had a little bit of feedback. Mackenzie said, "Thanks so much for this reading. It was so reassuring, and I cannot thank you enough. I can finally sleep."
Absolutely.
Really appreciate you, Barbara. I'll be back. And,
okay.
Chris Bellini said your readings are great. Okay, so now we're up to Jax. Jax came in and asks, "Good evening. If I'm not too late," and I let her know that they're not, "I would love a relationship reading. Thank you."
Okie doke. Relationship. All righty. Those of you that have listened to my readings know that the best way to attract a person to you is to become the person you want to attract to you. To love yourself as much as you would want somebody else to love you in a good way. Relationship reading. The central card you got here is that of universal love. And understanding that universal love is kind and gentle and sweet and compassionate has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with love. So what you've got here is you've got people around you. I would absolutely focus on working on yourself to get yourself to the point that that's the kind of person you want to have in your life. I've had a lot of people say, well, I just attract jerks. I've been there too. But the reality is we are magnets, and we draw to ourselves people who are similar to us. Magnets draw each other, to each other. So if you're not finding the right people coming at you or being available to you, then perhaps it's time to work on yourself to become more of what you want to have in your life. The relationship is wonderful if you're a complete person within yourself, not looking for completion from another person. Because if you're looking for completion from another person, then you have work to do on yourself still. And lots of times, this is interesting, lots of times you especially have a lot to do with your life on a spiritual level, so that finding the perfect person to be with you at this point in time may well take away from the impact that you're supposed to have upon reality. My feeling here is that if you stop looking, the right person will find you. And that's where so many people don't understand how this works. If you're working on yourself and being on a spiritual level, if you're working on learning compassion and grace and everything towards the rest of humanity, then you draw to yourself someone who has the same view, the same wishes, the same desires, and it works beautifully so long as you both continue on your own journey. You both follow your own bliss, and if one of you gives up to help the other, then that means you've stopped searching for your stuff. You've put out the flame that attracted that person to you, and the relationship falls apart. And that doesn't mean that you're selfish. It just means that what you've got here is a tremendous amount of power, a tremendous amount of creativity, a tremendous amount of energy that in many ways can help others. I would say you will find the kind of love relationship you want when you are deeply involved in finding ways to manifest your own love within reality, giving to others, sharing with others, being compassionate to others, doing creative endeavors that help other people. And it has to all be done with love and light and laughter. It can't be done just because this is going to get me the kind of person I want, because that's definitely not going to happen. But it feels here as though you have so much potential inside of you that expressing your love for humanity will draw people to you. Loving relationships are just, friendships are sometimes the best kind of relationship you can have. A loving relationship that isolates you from other people doesn't serve a purpose for a lifetime. So that you have many gifts here. You have abundance on lots of different levels. You have creative energy here of spirit. You have the essence here of being very creative and being able to, you work well with crowds. You speak well in front of crowds, and finding a way to take that energy and putting it out there and celebrating the magic that you have within you draws people to you. So don't go places where you might meet up with someone or hook up with someone. That doesn't work. Well, it does work on one level, but it does feel that here that there is so much more spiritual energy here that I don't think that a casual hookup is what you're looking for. You're looking for someone who shares your belief system, your joy of life, your joie de vivre. Again, that's my French, totally. What you've got is a blossoming of an amazing career here. And as you joyfully experience the growth within yourself of the love you have for yourself within yourself, and then share it with other people, you will draw people to you that have the same level of wanting to serve humanity in some way or form. It doesn't all have to be a spiritual way, just serving humanity. But what you've got going here is you're looking for a high quality person, and you have to become a higher quality person now in order to draw those people to you. There is a tremendous amount of love within you that goes far beyond the physical. And what you have to share goes far beyond the physical. And therefore you need to attract to yourself someone who has the same qualities within themselves and are growing and won't let go of their own dreams, pathways, things that they feel that they have to achieve this lifetime. And I'm not talking about ego, I'm talking about spirit here. You have a spirit who is powerful, and you probably have burned out relationships in the past because they couldn't keep up with you. And I'm talking about energetically. I'm talking about, looking forward, what are you going to do? What are you going to build on? How are you going to grow? How are you going to touch humanity in the best way? And I do feel that you will find a number of people that friendship love is incredible love. I mean, it's deep, it's profound, it's not superficial, it's deep. And once you can build on a friendship love, then you've got something. But you have to spend time developing those kind of relationships. And it feels to me as though you're looking for a slam bam, thank you, ma'am, here I am, ta-da. That's not going to happen. But loving yourself and taking joy from the gifts that you have, that you are giving and will continue to give, is going to draw to you someone who is of similar ilk. And friendship first, and then deep love then. And you'll find it. No, you won't. It will find you. Don't go looking. Because, if you sit on a silver platter someplace, all you're going to do is tarnish your bottom. So get on with life. Love yourself. Have joy out of, what you can do and share with others. And let that joy be the magnet that draws to you the person who is of similar insight and intent. It's going to come, but you have to put the energy out there to be exactly what it is you want. And you're not quite there yet, but I strongly suspect that by the time you get to the end of the year, you're going to be on your way, and that you may well find people coming into your life that are richer in spirit than you anticipate. So don't judge, just wait and let people prove themselves to you. I hope that helps, because there's what you're looking here is it's for far more than quote unquote love. It's far more than that, and it will come to you, but it has to come to you. You have to be it to magnify yourself for it to be drawn to you, and you won't be satisfied until it's something like that. I hope that helps.
Wow, good stuff. That's great. Okay, got a little feedback. Drops of Jupiter said, you described him perfectly. Absolutely correct. Thank you. I want to help so as my heart breaks to the soul. Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, right. I got chills. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Next up is Valerie. Valerie said, if there is still time, I would like a general reading. Thank you, Barbara.
Okay, dokie. Absolutely. We've been getting some heavy duty stuff here.
Yeah.
My ad must have worked. Gregg, I know we spoke about, I was supposed to be saying something or reminding people of something midway through the show, and I can't remember what it was.
Well, the app, and that you're giving away a couple of copies of the app of the Cosmic Deck, and that's the electronic version, and then there's also the physical version that's available. So we just wanted to let people know they can go to cosmicdeckofinitiation.com, and everything that you want to know about the deck is there. So it's the deck that Barbara uses to do these readings that she channeled. So, just let people know a little bit about the deck, maybe just for a minute or two.
Yeah, the deck they're hand-painted mandalas. This is one of them. I don't know if it shows well. They're hand-painted mandalas, and they're a spiritual deck that I channeled and painted. And the app is really cool in that it has the entire handbook in it, so that if you pull a card on the app, you'll hear me reading the meaning of the card, which is kind of fun. And we do have free apps to give away, for your phone. If you want to contact me through my website, just ask for the token for the free app, and we'll give you the app so that you can play with it and hopefully share it with other people. There's so many apps out there. I can understand why people aren't, finding it and using it and stuff like that. But it was a joy to do, and Gregg was a big part of it all. And he did the techie stuff. I did the creative stuff. Well, the techie stuff was creative too.
At times.
Yeah, but the app is out there, and it's a cool app. I even check it every now and then. If I have a question, I'll draw a card on my phone, and I'll listen to me talking to me. Every now and then I shut off myself because I know what the card means. But okay, so
all right,
back to work.
Or back to Valerie. All right,
yes.
So Valerie, you'd like a general reading.
Okay, Valerie, the next year is going to be a time for you where you're going to experience universal freedom, which means you're going to be given opportunities to move in new directions. You're going to have the freedom to make changes in your life above and beyond what you anticipate. Now, the thing is, there is free will, and free will is free, except you have to pay for the consequences of your actions. But what I'm finding here is over this next year, you're going to have the freedom to make shifts and changes. And I do feel that you're going to take advantage of it, because I see you with itchy feet, as though you want to move in new directions. You want to do new things. You want to be open to new aspects of life that you're not open to right now. And it does really feel as though it's almost like there's a new energy within you, as though this is a month where you're beginning to see that there's so much more out there available to you to do and to be a part of, that you hadn't paid attention to prior to this point in time. So it's a sense of an inner awakening is awakening you to a lot of new insights, new directions, new creative endeavors that you could get into. I know you're very creative, but I don't see you manifesting it a lot. And what happens is that sometimes we get to places where we're forgetting we need to be creative. It's the creative energy when we start to be creative. It's that energy is what fuels our spiritual progress within this lifetime. And what I'm seeing is, again, itchy feet, and you draw that energy in and then manifest it through creative projects. Now, it isn't just that creative project, whatever it is. It's the fact that you're utilizing the spiritual energy this way that creates a flow of energy that moves you ahead and forward within your physical reality. Oftentimes in ways and places you hadn't anticipated, I'll grant you, but it still gets movement going in your life. And being creative is the way that you break out of writer's block, if you feel you're stuck in place, it's a matter of get creative. And I don't care what you do, whether you cook or whether you garden or whether you do mechanics and take things apart and put things back together, whether you whatever you do that's of a creative nature, it gives the spirit within you the energy to move you forward in time, which is really, really important. And what you've got going on in this particular month is you have access to new energy that you didn't know was there. So as you move into the October timeframe, there's a sense here of going back to school. Don't panic. I don't see you going back to school formally, but I do see you going back to school in learning and growing and stretching and moving into new areas of philosophical understanding and moving into new aspects of yourself. It looks very exciting for you, not work. And I think at this particular point in time, learning is if learning something, if you're choosing what you want to learn, and you will be, is a very exciting process for you. So it does feel as though you're coming to a time frame where you're more and more aware of where you need growth, where you want to learn new things, and what is going to draw you. Pay attention to where you're drawn. It opens up for you, and jump in. There is this element of having a need to grow, a need to learn more, a need to be more in-depth, philosophically aware of what's going on within your spiritual development. As you hit the aspect of November, there's a sense here of creativity and music. It feels as though music is a part of your life to some degree, in some way, shape, or form. Excuse me. Music is going to draw you into creative endeavors, whether you use it as a background music or whether you're actually playing music yourself. I can't tell, but I do know music is important to you. As you get up to the December timeframe, again, here's the element of free will. Again, there is a cost to free will. So make sure that the choices that you make are going to be ones that allow you great great expansiveness, so that if you make a choice to go in a new direction, there are lots of opportunities within that direction. If you narrow your plane, your pathway too much, you'll get bored, because you bore easily. So you need to have a lot of different you need to have access to a lot of different directions that you can take your energy in, both your creative energy that you do outside of a working environment and that which you do inside a working environment. As you get to the January timeframe, a lot of activity going on here. There may be travel here. There may be travel that you don't expect, that looks to be very pleasurable, but it's going to open doors for you on a creative level that are going to be very, very exciting. February is going, though it's a short month, it's going to be very full of new richness and new direction. And as you hit that was January. February is the short month. January has the busy energy. February has new directions that feels as though body, mind, and spirit is going on here, and it does feel as though there's a new direction that is looked at, and you're kind of putting your big toe in new directions as to see if there is some way that you can use new areas to enlighten you to a greater degree. As you hit the March timeframe, sense here of new directions. It feels here. There's a sense here of new compassion, of new understanding, of new growth, of new insights. And it does feel as though you're moving into a more serious aspect of the spiritual journey that you're on. I feel that you're moving into new directions and new understandings of the spiritual journey that you're on. There's a lot of creativity here. You're evolving into a new way of expressing yourself. There are new ways of expressing yourself that are here, that are of a very creative nature, that look very interesting. And there are new groups of people coming in, both in the March and the April timeframe. Lots of new people coming in. Also, there's a sense here of the journey that you're on, that we're all on, is a spiritual journey. But what I'm seeing here is, as you hit into the May timeframe, you've got the element of seeking sources of new spiritual direction that open you to new understanding of the evolution of the spirit that you carry within, and the sharing of that information. And it does look as though there are new groups of people that you're a part of that look to be very interesting. Be careful you don't get too groupie-ish, but having groups of people who speak the same language, really important. And as you get into the June timeframe, you're attracting to yourself again new people. There's a sense here of partnership. There's a sense here of partnership. There's a sense here of a new partnership, a deep partnership. It could be relationship, but it could also be, it's definitely relationship, but relationship can be friends. It can be, it can be romantic. I'm not going to, take that out of the picture, but there's relationship issues here, not issues, but relationship things are coming up here in the June timeframe that are really pretty interesting. It looks as though you're going to do a lot of, I almost feel the need for you to go away for yourself for a weekend or so, and just kind of try to figure out how to get your, what your priorities are and things like that. It's a good time. It's an exciting time. A very serious time for you, actually. But I'm looking at it thinking it's serious because I've been there and I've done that, and you survive. But it feels as though relationship stuff is here, and it does feel as though it works out very, very well for you. But it's something you think very, very long and hard on. As you get into the July timeframe, there are legalities here that are taken care of. You're signing legal papers for sure. You're not being sued. Legal papers can be anything, as I've said often, from a warranty on a new toaster. Of course, that's antiquity, or something far greater. But it feels as though there's joy and excitement here, so it's not a bad thing. And as you get into it could have something to do with a house. I don't know if you're looking to sell or buy, but it feels like both of those things are present here if they're of interest to you. You don't have to, certainly, but the potential between the June and the September timeframe next year, there's definitely the possibility of selling and buying, or home taking on new direction and moving into new areas. Again, new areas could be different locales, or it could be new areas of your life opening up to new places where you will go to and be involved in. That looks interesting. Please get back to us on that. I would be very interested in seeing what happens, what comes from that. There has been a feeling of needing for movement throughout the whole year, and not only movement on a spiritual level, but it could be a physical level as well. So that's going to be interesting. Please, come back and tell us. It's kind of nice to get the feedback. Okie doke. That's it.
All right. Okay. Jax said thank you. Thank you so much. Who says? All right. We have next up Melissa Gervais. Hey, new here, but having a hard time. Been set up with a friend of a friend, and ever since knowing about him seeing a picture, have a strange pull to him, but was stood up for the date. So confused.
Well, Melissa, here's how it goes. When somebody chooses somebody for you, they're choosing from their own frame of reference, from their own wants and not wants, not necessarily for yours. It's like advice. If someone gives you advice, it's great for them, but it won't apply to you. I strongly recommend that you not do setups, because when you're ready for a relationship will come to you, and it'll come, from it could be meeting somebody at a car wash to somebody at the grocery. When you are ready for a relationship will appear. Now, prior to that time, there's a lot you can do to take care of yourself. Let me just throw some cards here. Don't do setups. Setups never work. And not only does that come from experience, it comes from the cards as well. Okay, so what you've got going on here is you're a very unique person. You're a very special person. You're very sweet. You're very caring. You're very giving. And I know people who are in relationship always want someone else to be in a relationship too, because it's so wonderful. And relationships are meant to be places where you grow in. And storybooks and movies, when the lights go out and the camera shut down, everybody goes different directions. So what I'm getting here is that the right person is going to come to you in the right time, in the right way. It's not going to be a setup. And I would do things that give you pleasure, that give you joy. I would join groups that give you pleasure, that give you joy. I would become involved in groups that do things that give you pleasure and give you joy, because that's where you're going to meet people that are doing it for the same reason. once you find, other people that are involved in the same stuff, then magnetism takes over. But just to set up, if you got stood up, I wouldn't even, there's no excuse for that. Don't do that. All it does is somebody else's idea as to what you need in your life, and they don't know you. Even if it's a friend, they don't know what you really need in your life. So trying to match you up so you can be as happy as they are, nah, don't do it. It's not worth it. I would say what you've got here are fresh starts. You've got new beginnings here. You've got magic and miracles coming in June. You've got a balance card in the center here. So long as you let your own magnetism draw to you the right person for you, you're golden. And if you haven't had a relationship in a long time, it's probably because you've missed a lot of bullets that have been aimed at you. Not real bullets, but if you let people set you up, all you're doing is fulfilling their wishes, not yours. So meet people on your own. And if you haven't met anybody in a while, then what you do is you start working on yourself. You work on your creative stuff. You work on getting more involved in community stuff. You find a church that you like and you get joy from. And if you're not a church person or a religious person, then you find groups that have activities that are helping other people. Volunteer. Get involved with helping other people. And when you do that, then it comes to you. I find what I'm seeing here is that there is great love, great strength, great all sorts of stuff here. But it's a matter of you taking yourself out of dating stuff or things like that. Get involved in life. Get involved in giving of your energy to other things that will help other people. And in doing that, you draw to yourself people that are kind and wonderful and compassionate as you are. And I can actually say that within a year's time, you will find, no, you won't find, it will find you. There will be a relationship for you. But it has to be one that you draw to yourself because of your energy. That's the only way it works. If someone else says, "Oh, you two will get along," no, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for someone on a soul level, on a spirit level that is gonna be a partner to you. And the only way you find that is by putting your energy out there and letting it attract other people to you. You have a sweetness about you. You are kind and you are compassionate, and you have an amazing sense of humor. So until that person arrives on your doorstep, and it won't be a delivery boy, you never know, but no, it won't be. It does feel here as though as you get into it feels like you're going to be busy getting involved with things that really make you happy, give you joy between now and the first of the year. Then you have abundance coming in. You have unusual people that are coming into your frame of reference. So you'll have a lovely time with that. There's your intuition becoming stronger, and it feels as though you're getting the ability to read people better than you have in the past. You'll be able to just laugh something off and say no, thank you, or you'll try somebody on for size. There is the element of love here. There is the element of getting into a deeper level of relationship than you anticipated, and there's the element of magic and miracles, expecting the unexpected by the time you get to June. I would absolutely not let people pick for you, because they'll never pick anything as special as you are. That person is out there. People. I would say there are at least 3 new people coming into your life that are more appropriate for you than anybody that anyone else could pick for you. Pick yourself and have a good time. It's going to be a great year for you, for sure. But let your spirit do the choosing rather than a friend who is well-meaning. I hope that helps.
So good. I can relate to a lot of that. All right. Yeah.
Got confirmation from the other half here.
Yeah, just that's some good, powerful advice there too, built into the reading. All right. So Valerie did give you some feedback. She said, we would like to move, but we're not having success currently, but your reading is hopeful. I always enjoy your readings.
Yeah, with the move wasn't until almost a year from now. So it's coming. Just be patient.
Okay. And Melissa, who you just read, said thank you. And yes, I am very, very giving, etc. I haven't dated in a long time. And thanks. That's so sweet. Okay. So who do we have next? We have Nancy. Nancy says, hello, Barbara. Did I have any off-world lives? And if so, can you describe a significant one to help me in this lifetime? Oh, I see. She's like saying, other life off outside the world, the earth, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're a woo-woo friend.
All righty. Let's see what we get here. Off-world. All right. Of course you have. You have definitely had off-world. Okay. Said friends. All right. You have had off-world lives. You've had many of them. All of us have. It looks here as though the Earth plane, certainly for now and has been for a number of past lives and probably will continue because you have the physicality. If we go off-world, there was I can't, I won't have a planet's name for you because, of course, that will be in a completely different language, whatever. You had a lifetime on a planet that was very, very full and rich of greenery and flowers and stuff like that. So that could explain that there, if there is, you're drawing to nature. You had a lifetime, You had a lifetime in which you spent a great deal of time in what I would describe as a forest, and it was, you were one with nature, and nature in that particular universe was very rich and very compassionate and very sharing. I don't believe that the form was that we have now, the avatars we have now. But I do believe that from that lifetime you draw a familiarity with nature and trees and things like that. It feels as though there is also a very, very great sensitivity to pollen, to smells, to nature stuff. You're drawn to, you will be drawn to natural aspects and areas for peace and tranquility, because that's where you find a sense of oneness with the natural. That particular lifetime, there were not people, but there were beings that were one with nature, but that actually, they didn't have roots like trees and stuff, but they lived in oneness with nature. It was a very small group of individuals, and you had a number of lifetimes kind of tending the forest, sort of like you had the ability to put down roots and grow and help flora and fauna that were struggling for one reason or another. It was a time in which there was just a oneness with the wind and with there were no people. There were no people there that I can identify, but you were at one with the forest, almost as though a deva of sorts. If you transplant it to this plane, I would describe you as a deva of the forest, a carekeeper of things that grow. That was a beautiful lifetime, by the way. You had a number. You spent, I want to say, millions of years in that kind of environment, so that if put this lifetime in big cities and stuff like this, it feels as though you cringe a lot because you don't feel comfortable. You don't feel at one with even yourself. There's another past lifetime that is another planet, another galaxy, I don't know how exactly to put it. But again, it doesn't feel as though there was a lot of interaction with similar people. You feel as though you don't feel you belong here. And I can understand why, because you've come from many lifetimes, from areas that while there were others, that they were not on top of one another. There was not the noise. There was not the pollution, so that you feel like you don't belong here. And in many ways, if you have to put it on how many lifetimes have you been here and how many lifetimes have you been on other planets where you were at peace with whatever form you were taking. I find it interesting that in pure spirit form, you have from time to time incarnated on planets where you became a wise person of some sort, where you were helping indigenous peoples to grow and to gift them with the knowledge they needed in order to evolve as a civilization. So you are definitely one of those who wanders culture to culture to culture, or planet to planet to planet, in wise woman form. So, and if we really get strange here, you've had a lifetime on a planet where you there were no people, but there were animals, and I you had the form of, gosh, it looks like a white wolf, a big white wolf, and you were the leader of a group of these. This is what they looked like. They were the populace of the planet, so they were the people of the planet. But you were one who led, one who kept peace. You were one who helped the weak to grow. But huge white wolf, that's what it looks like. I'm sure that's not what it was called. So you've had a lifetime or lifetimes in the form of things that were not human. So being here this lifetime, you still feel you need to isolate yourself because you're not comfortable or familiar with the human form that now you are wearing. I think from what I'm seeing here, you're more comfortable in the etheric form, because then you can watch and not get involved, touch but never linger. so that you are a species, you are of a species that in etheric form travels the universe, and in many ways helps the indigenous whatever to grow, to change, to evolve. But you definitely don't feel at home here. You feel as though being in a forest is the best place for you. And it feels to me also that the flora and fauna of the earth doesn't always agree with you, so that it feels like pollen is a problem for you. I hope that helps.
Okay. Well, she did come in. I don't know if you had noticed that you were reading.
No.
About in the middle of the reading, she brought this in and said, I've always been drawn to nature. And in this life, I was raised in the woods, surrounded by trees. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're caught up, actually.
Okay.
And, we're actually coming up on the end of the second hour as well.
Wow.
You did 11 readings.
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here and for supporting us and for giving us the opportunity to play, because this for me is a wonderful way of growing, of learning, of stretching. And I so appreciate all of you for tuning in and joining us. And we're going to be back in 2 weeks. So
yes,
bring your friends, spread the word, and thank you for being with us. And Gregg, thank you very much for being such a good feeder, I guess. I don't know what would
feeder,
yeah.
Manager, producer. I don't know.
All right, thank you very much for being such a great producer.
Assistant.
Good night, everybody.